Introducing Wheatley American Vodka, made right here in the US of A. Award-winning? Yes, but never too fancy for a backyard barbecue.
This song right here is for the red, white, and blue. You got good taste, and you drink like it too.
Wheatley, so good I drink it neatly.
Wash in Moscow always get the mule. Vodka this good is an American jewel.
Wheatley, so good I drink it neatly.
Wheatley American Vodka. Please drink responsibly. Sazerac Company, Louisville, Kentucky, 41% alcohol by volume.
Live from multiple locations via the miracle of Skype, it's the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing. Featuring dangerous Dan Margetta and Brian Schmidt. LTN is a caller-driven program, and your participation is encouraged by calling 414-421-7901. That's 414-421-7901. Now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
And welcome to the program. Glad you could join us. We're coming to you live from Dells Raceway Park tonight. Thanks to Jerry Albee and the gang here for putting up with us. We do appreciate it. Big day, big day. The boys were at Road America yesterday, and it was a big day for not only Josh Bilicki, who had probably his best, I would say that probably was his best finish ever, but Sam Mayer's first win. Let's start with Dan Margetta. You boys spent the day up there, didn't you?
Yeah, I spent the weekend, actually, and it was a real good time and crazy race, crazy last couple of laps, and to have it end with the Wisconsin guy getting his first win, that was pretty cool. Like I said, all the Wisconsin guys had good runs. I mean, Sam won it. Josh's 8th place finish was his best. He qualified 11th, finished 8th. I thought all around his best weekend overall. And even Parker Retzlaff had a pretty good run for his first time there, finishing 14th. So I thought all in all it was a pretty good weekend, don't you think, Brian?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not really what you expected. You're seeing Sam running, between, second and maybe fourth most of the day there, keeping up. Justin Allgaier was a rock solid all day, and he was looking to be the first repeat winner in the history of NASCAR racing at Road America, which has never happened yet. And lo and behold, you get a green-white checkered at the end, and the racing broke out, and it was a heck of a finish. Spectacular.
Couple of green-white checkers. You want to take us through that? I have to admit, I wasn't anywhere where I could watch a television, and it was there, but I missed it. Tell me about it.
Well, nobody could do anything with Justin Allgaier, it seemed, all day. And in the first overtime, or the green-white checker finish, I don't know if it was officially overtime or not, but coming to the green on that one, the 19 car of Connor Mosack was blowing up, and he was dropping stuff. I was in turn 12, and you could see him dropping stuff there. I'm not sure why NASCAR didn't see that. And cars, I think, were spinning off course on turn 14 as they went to the green. Well, then, of course, he didn't pull in the pits, and he stopped on the course, on the track, and then they threw another yellow to go green-white again, and they put all kinds of oil dry down, and that was what caused the issues, I think.
He went all the way to turn 6, Dan. It's crazy. I mean, Justin Allgaier, I had him on the radio, and he was just livid. He's like, what? Guy should have his license pulled for doing something like that. He finally stopped at the top of the hill on turn 6. So, and you envision Road America, you got oil from 14 all the way around down to 5 and then back up to 6 before his car finally stopped. So that was crazy. Yeah, but that was a lengthy delay there.
Ironically, top of turn 6 is where everything kind of broke out on that final lap. So that's where Allgaier slipped and opened the door. They went 3 wide into turn 8. Allgaier missed the corner. Sam kind of missed the corner. Sage Karam ended up with the lead. I'm thinking, Sage Karam's going to maybe win this race coming to the white flag. Until we get to turn 12, and Sam was right on his tail. And Sam makes an outside move in turn 12, runs out of room there, goes off the course. And then Parker Kligerman gets into second. I'm like, oh, boy, here we go. And Karam's still going to lead the white flag until he got to turn 13, and Karam went off. And we'll try there. Let Kligerman take the lead, and Sam got inside him off of 14 and then was a clean last lap and won the race. So they had 4 leaders left.
It was cool listening to Sam's spotter because I was up on top of the tower, and I could see Sage miss 13, and I'm like, whoa, here's Sam right behind Parker, and he goes into 14, and he's able to make the move to get past him, and then they disappear for a minute under the hill, and they crest the hill, and Sam's got the lead, and his spotter, or I think it was his crew chief on the pits box, is like, all right, now just a clean lap, relax, clean lap all the way through, and each spotter, as he went through there, you're good, just clean, thinking, you get the lead with 1 lap to go. It's usually, that's not a big deal. At Road America, it's a big deal. You still got 14 corners you got to negotiate to get all the way around there. And there's the new surface there made the racing, very tricky. It's very tricky for those cars. You're on a knife edge the whole time. You really had to drive them.
Experienced on that surface, right?
Yeah, they hadn't. I mean, they had to practice on Friday, but Friday, I mean, it was probably about 15 degrees warmer on Friday, super humid. They made a lot of junk on Friday. There's crashes all over the place. So a lot of guys were real, they were skittish going into Saturday, wondering what it was going to be. Well, it was a lot cooler yesterday, and the track was still a knife edge. You got off just a little bit, and you went sliding. But it made for an interesting race at the end there.
It was the Allgaier show all day, right?
For the most part, yeah. He had a dominant car. You had Allmendinger starting on the pole, but I would think it was maybe lap 4 or 5. Allmendinger just wasn't good from the start. Custer got out, and then Allgaier passed Custer in turn 5. I think it was about lap 5 or 6. I was down there when it happened. All of a sudden, I see him coming down the hill, and there's Allgaier getting in front. So I think he took the lead around that time and just kind of drove away from that point.
Unbelievable. And for being one guy that dominated all day long, just to lose in the end. Boy, it sounds a little bit familiar to the truck race yesterday. Ty Majeski was the man there, and then a couple of little issues, and Carson Hocevar wins the race. Again, I didn't see it until with 3 laps to go. It came on television, so I don't know what happened there. Whatever it is, it sounds like Joe Shear made a mistake in there somewhere.
Well, Brian, I had a speeding penalty on pit road, and we had to go to the back and actually overcame that, right? But then it came down to a final pit call.
Yeah, it was a strange situation. So there's like about 40 to go, and Ty had driven himself back up to the lead, and Hocevar decides to pit for new tires. And when you pit for new tires, you go down over a lap. I think it was maybe closer to 60 to go at the time when that happened. And they all go down a lap. And then when it was all said and done, everybody pitted with the exception of Ty. And there was about 30 to go, and Hocevar was about 24 seconds behind. But he was running 1.3 to 1.6 seconds a lap faster as they went through that entire time frame. So it was just a matter of is this going to work or not? And for the longest time, I'm watching this going, oh, he'll be fine. He'll be fine because of lap traffic, and sooner or later the tires are going to wear out. Well, Ty kept getting just a little bit slower, and Carson was hitting traffic pretty much decent, and Carson took the lead from him with 3 laps to go. So it was so close. I mean, if a caution falls there with, I would say, 20 or more laps to go, Ty pits, he's the only one with brand new tires on. And at that time, there were maybe 6 cars in the lead lap. If Ty pits the same time as Hocevar pits, a caution comes out, he's stuck a lap down. So you're really stuck between a rock and a hard place. The leader is hung out to dry there. Everybody else was like, our truck is not any better than Ty, so we got to do something different. Where in Joe Shear's defense here, he had like nothing to gain by pitting with them guys at the time because, then he's going to get stuck a lap down too. It's a tough situation. It looked like, you're talking 3 laps is all it was, and this is when there was like 60 laps to go when people were making these decisions. So it's easy for us to sit here in our chair and rip on Joe Shear. He screwed him on this one and that, but you're thinking to yourself, man, when your truck is that good and you're dominating the race that much, you don't have time because if he pits 4 laps after Hocevar pits, now he's behind him and he's going to have a hard time catching back up to him. So it's tough.
Yeah, kind of a flip of the coin kind of a situation. But, of course, social media is unforgiving. They will rip into people for things that could have gone the other way just as easily. So, yeah, well, they did finish their regular season with the trucks, and this field is set. Ty Majeski will be in the, what do they call it, the chase, in the playoffs. And congratulations to Ty. This is the second year in a row he's in it. Last year, of course, he was in the Final Four. That's all you can hope for, with a shot to win the last race. And that's what we're kind of hoping for, that Ty at least has a chance at that. We're happy you're tuned in today. The race will be at Richmond, Virginia for the Cup Series. Tyler Reddick is on the pole for that one. He qualified at 113.689 miles per hour. But overall, not the fastest car. He was fastest in the qualifying show. But if you're like me, you're taking a look at who's the man there, and it certainly is William Byron. He's going to be the car to beat today, and he doesn't start but like 6th place. So he's 400 laps. They've got their stages at the end of lap 70 and then 230. And the green flag is at 2:16 this afternoon, Milwaukee time. A coverage right here on the Big 920 starts at 1 o'clock. So make sure you are tuned in. Good forecast, 80s. For temperature out there, which is amazing, really, and but there is a 30% chance of some sort of precipitation. They do have rain tires. They're going to go. We'll be right back.
The summer heat is on, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
It's one of the most incredible weekends of sports car racing in the world at Road America, America's national park of speed. Bring the entire family. Kids 16 and under are free with paying adults. Tickets and more at roadamerica.com.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com.
The ARCA Menard Series.
Jesse Love is on the move in the early going. Green flag drops. He takes the lead.
Heads to Michigan International Speedway.
4 times a winner already this season. Looking to go to victory lane for the 5th time.
Will Jesse Love win again?
Checkered flag in the air. He'll make up for it in a big way. Jesse Love wins.
It's the Henry Ford Health 200.
Friday night at 5 on Milwaukee's Home for NASCAR, the Big 920, and your iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back to LTN. If you would like to participate in the program with thoughts about anything having to do with anything in NASCAR or racing in general, you can call us at 414-421-7901. We'd love to hear from you. The big news this week, I don't know. I'm still shaking my head. Dan, I know you follow this a lot closer than most people, but it blows me away that we already have our first TV contract in place. It doesn't start next year. It starts the next year. In 2025, the Xfinity Series is going to be on a regular network, Rabbit Ears Television. The CW network is going to carry the entire Xfinity Series. They got a 7-year deal, which puts them through 2032 for over $800 million to be on the CW network. Channel 18 in Milwaukee. Check your local listings. But, if it wasn't for, 2.5 Men reruns, I'm not sure I'd watch the CW network. That's probably the whole point, right?
Yeah, they kind of came out of nowhere. I'm not sure where they came from. I didn't know they were in negotiations for NASCAR rights. And interesting what they did before the Cup Series, you got the Xfinity Series along with it. It was kind of a package deal for Fox and NBC. Now they split them off. So the Xfinity cars are all going to be on the CW network, and they got a pretty good, chunk of change for it. I mean, $800 million is $115 million a year. But apparently they've been going into some sports broadcasting, right, Brian? And they had the Live Golf for a while. Now they're going to lose that, so this might replace that.
Yeah, I think that's what opened the door for them to get in on this. I would say probably 2 months ago, this probably wasn't an option for them because they took on the Live Golf thing when it became a thing, and they have like 8 hours of coverage a day of that. I mean, they did it from the first tee to the last person putting in on 18. But now that PGA and LIV merged, that was probably a little over a month ago that occurred. It opened the door for them for other sports, and it's interesting to hear this in the garage area. Yesterday, we were talking with some people and talking with some of the car owners, and they're this might give them a better opportunity to actually sell some sponsorship, because now you know where your race is going to be every single week, and it's on over-the-air TV,
and it's available to everybody.
Everybody, correct? Yeah, and yesterday. I met up with Bobby Dotter again too, and I was in there with the Millers, and we were talking about it a little bit too. And he says, hopefully this gets some ground, and this is going to help us.
Introducing Wheatley American Vodka, made right here in the U.S. of A. Award-winning? Yes, but never too fancy for a backyard barbecue.
This song right here is for the red, white, and blue. You got good taste, and you drink like it too.
Wheatley, so good I drink it neatly.
Wash in Moscow always get the mule. Vodka this good is an American jewel.
Wheatley, so good I drink it neatly.
Wheatley American Vodka. Please drink responsibly. Sazerac Company, Louisville, Kentucky. 41% alcohol by volume.
The golden days of summer are here. More Brewers games, sun-drenched days of tailgating, and exhilarating summer nights are waiting for you at American Family Field. Embrace it all with your crew while Brewers baseball season reaches its peak. Because the best days of the year won't be here forever. Make the most of it and plan your game day at Brewers.com today.
This is going to help us out, selling, because you can say anybody can have it. The only thing is where's the CW's streaming thing going to be going? Because streaming is such a big thing now that hopefully they're going to still have an option for people to stream it on their phones or whatnot as time goes on.
That's a free app right now, I think.
It is a free app? Okay, yeah, that was the one question I didn't have an answer to at the time we were talking about it. But
download it now, in other words, huh?
Does this increase purses for the Xfinity Series? I wonder how that's going to go. I mean, because that's kind of increased the purse on the Cup side, right? When the TV deal got signed, and when is this going to do anything that way, I wonder?
Yeah.
And now we are not offering as much to the major networks as we offered before, because it was always part of the NASCAR package. And I thought it was interesting that I was reading about it, that a lot of the production is going to be done by NASCAR itself, and CW will be in charge of hiring the on-air talent and that sort of thing. But it's all going to be from NASCAR. So again, we're learning this.
Can you say Alan Bestwick? Are you available?
Well,
he does such a good job on that SRX stuff.
It is.
And yesterday, a guy we haven't seen in a while, Matt Yoakum, appeared yesterday again too. He was filling in because NBC was short on people. He's a guy that you haven't seen much of him in the last year or so, because he was kind of let go there, and he was available.
Yeah, suddenly we had to split our crews between Richmond and Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. So, then did you say that somebody was doing it from a studio in Charlotte?
Well, the people you saw on TV or on, if you notice, you never saw the three main people that were in the booth, because their faces never shown during the entire coverage of anything. Dale Jarrett, Jeff Burton, and I'm drawing a blank on who the anchor guy was there, but they were not there at all. And it's the first time that NASCAR or that NBC didn't actually have people in the booth. Now, Fox has been doing this for years. They were doing this even before COVID. I mean, I think, what was that, Dan? Like maybe 2019. Remember, we were able to do our show right from the front row at Road America for the IMSA race, because they were in a trailer. So Fox has always been doing this, but this is the first time NBC really did it without actually bringing the people to the show. But you think about it now, we don't have any standalone events anymore. You have Portland and you have Road America for the Xfinity Series, and you have Milwaukee and Mid-Ohio for the Truck Series. Everything else is in conjunction with the Cup Series all year long, so you don't have to do it as often.
It is.
You see that across the board, even on NASCAR-wise. I mean, there's a lot less NASCAR people there this weekend here, too, I think, because they double up a lot of those staff when they're on the same place for both series. Now that you're split around, you have to kind of split your cast off and have fewer people at the standalone events.
I believe we have time to talk to Paul in Crivets, Wisconsin, waiting patiently. How you doing, Paul?
Hi. Good morning.
Hello.
Thank you for taking my call.
You bet.
I'm going south to Cocanto, and I'm wondering if there's any big names other than Ty Majeski showing up for the extra payday.
Are you talking about WIR on Tuesday night at Kaukauna?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, big names.
There's 24 cars in the entry list.
Bubba Pollard is going to be there. It's I wouldn't say controversial, but there's people talking about the lack of rules. It's kind of what cost Slinger the relationship between Slinger and ASA with engine rules, and I don't know if it's going to hurt Kaukauna or not. But
Sammy Smith, who was at Road America yesterday, will be there.
Johnny Sauter will be there.
Yep.
It's 3 Wilson cars, right? Cole Butcher, Sammy Smith, Gio Ruggiero. I said Johnny Sauter's there.
Yep. Bubba Pollard will be there.
Yeah, Derek Krause. I mean, it's your pretty normal cast of characters.
Short track, the greatest short track racers in America. How about that?
Yes.
So, is that okay, Paul?
Yes, thank you.
All right, thanks for the call. We do appreciate it. And if anybody else wants to send a call our way, 414-421-7901. We are racing at Richmond. It's an afternoon race. They like to do this thing at night usually, and it's recently they've switched to the afternoon. I always like Sunday afternoons as rain dates, although you'd hate to go head-to-head with local short track racing on Saturday nights. But it's a 400 lapper. It's not a long race and a 3/4 mile track. It's a perfect size track. It's a perfect width for the size. It's perfect amount of laps. They always put on a good show. It shows up on everybody's favorite track list, and we're going to see it today on the USA Network and, of course, right here on the Big 920. We'll be back after these.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
Exciting racing continues this Saturday night at the Fair Park in Plymouth. Watch the Plymouth Third Track Racing MSA Sprint Cars, the Grand Nationals, B-Mods, and the very fast Lightning Sprints. Gates open at 4:30, opening ceremony at 6 with racing to follow. The Fair Park features a covered grandstand with seat backs throughout, a new sound system, and as always, great food. Next week, the Super 6 late models return for another night of high-powered racing. The Fair Park in Plymouth, just off Highway 23. We'll see you there.
The NASCAR Cup Series.
Green flag is out. We're racing in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Returns to Richmond Raceway.
Oh, look how William Byron's around and into the outside wall. Byron gets clipped.
As 5 weeks remain until the playoffs.
Off 4, final time, and Kyle Larson has won here at Richmond.
It's the Cookout 400.
Sunday afternoon. Coverage starts at 1 on Milwaukee's home for NASCAR, the Big 920, and your iHeartRadio app.
All right. This is the traditional time of year. We're back to the traditional time of year for the rumor mill and rides that might be available and drivers that want to be, moving from their current situation, or if they're not under contract. It's a pretty big deal this year. And I think the fact that Shane Van Gisbergen, or here to be known as SVG, is on his way in. He's already received a blessing, as it were. He's under contract to the team he races for in New Zealand and Australia. However, they said they're not going to stand in his way if he wants to get a cup ride and come here. And he has made it known that he wants to come here. It's the money. It's about the money, like everything else. There's baseball in Korea. Do they want to play ball in Korea? Oh, there's no money. It's in America. So this is where you want to come and make a name for yourself and get rich. And Van Gisbergen is certainly, his ability was on display for the whole racing world to see in Chicago. So the question would be, is he the number one domino to fall? Because, there's different possibilities for the guy. The Trackhouse team that he was in is not a permanent team, but I bet you they would make it a permanent team if they had a driver such as Van Gisbergen to come over. Do they have a charter? No, not for that third car. Kaulig might be looking for a driver because, as you noticed, they let their driver go last week, and Justin Haley is gone to a traditional backmarker team, which may change their fortunes also. But, that seems to me to be a legitimate place for Van Gisbergen to go. Don't you think the Kaulig car, the 31 car?
It almost looks like that might be a good place. I mean, if you just start putting things together and start putting pieces of the puzzle together. The Trackhouse obviously said their third car. If they want to run a third car, they need a charter. Where do they get that from? Do you buy it from somebody? I mean, prices are way up now. I mean, they're talking about $30 million. I heard that thrown out. It's crazy. But look at Kaulig. I mean, the 31 car is apparently open. I mean, they weren't going to bring Haley back without more significant money from him. So he went to Rick Ware. And Van Gisbergen is the hot guy right now. I mean, look at the TV ratings, what it did for him. If you want to sponsor, I think they'll be lining up to join on that car because he's super popular. What about AJ Allmendinger? I mean, he ran a full season this year. He didn't the other years. He didn't want to do it. He said he'd try it this year and does it. But now is he happy doing that? I mean, coming and running an Xfinity race at Road America for a trophy over your playoff spot, maybe says, I like to go race for fun and not have to do this week to week. So we'll see what happens there on his car. I don't know what the sponsorship situation is there, but Kaulig seems right now to be a good fit for him if they could put it together because he's Chevy. Same with Trackhouse.
Oh, yeah. That would be quite the 1-2 punch on road courses for Kaulig if they had SVG and AJ Allmendinger in-house. But a car that's not talked about very much, a couple of them that aren't talked about very much. One of them is the 10 car for Stuart Haas. Is that car going to be available? Did he say he was coming back? Did the Cuban Missile Crisis say he was coming back for 2 years or 1 year, or did it all depend on the sponsorship?
Yeah, 2 years is what he originally committed to. So,
interesting.
So assume he's going to withhold. We'd hold up to that, but
everybody's saying that 10 car seems to be open next year, so we'll see. But no, that's a big win for Ford if that's if they could steal this guy away from Chevrolet, and that's the hold up there right now. Van Gisbergen's a Chevy guy because they gave him his chances. They would take a significant amount of money or something to get him off the Chevrolet camp and over to Ford. Now it's Smithfield. They want to step up and do it. We'll see.
Yeah, that's good point. And really, it may just be a pocket sponsor. And when Almirola decides to retire, it might just go away with him. But if they're selling meat, that's what it's really all about. Now Martin Truex is having one hell of a season. I cannot imagine retiring after having a season like this. However, he is 43, I think, and how many more years? Let's just say he won his second championship this year, would that be the perfect way to leave the sport at 43 or not? And then
he had said that would be the thing to do, to walk off. But he's like giving them no inclination at all of what he's thinking. I mean, they asked him again this week, and he still gave them I have no idea. I mean, come on. As a team owner, you got to be like, all right, we're going into August here. You got to give us something.
But he's got to be talking. Are the sponsors his? Does he have the best pro shops? I think he does, doesn't he?
I believe so. I mean, it was on his Xfinity stuff way back when he was driving for Junior Motorsports. That was one of their main things, and they have ties to Junior Motorsports.
They also, they're around though. They've been around, with different sponsors and different cars and stuff too. But if there's money there, and Truex is doing them fine. So there's there's a couple of dominoes that we don't know if are falling or standing or what they're going to do. And now there's other things happening, though. Like, for instance, Michael McDowell is having just a whale of a season over there in the 34 car, and they don't know what they're going to do yet. Are they going to let him go and put a different driver? There's other drivers that are supposedly floating around, young drivers that don't, need as much. Chandler Smith is a name. Austin Hill, now, even though he's driving for Childress right now, he's doing a pretty damn good job, whether we like to admit it or not. I think the guy's really done well. And 4 wins in the Xfinity Series, that usually warrants a kick upstairs. This guy is good enough to be racing with the big boys. And Chandler Smith, does he have the money to take the ride? Does Austin Hill have money to get kicked upstairs?
I think that front row thing with McDowell is something to watch, because that's a team that's doing a whole heck of a lot with a lot little, really. I mean, if you look at the smaller teams, they're outperforming some pretty big name teams right now, and they're starting to turn some heads. If they could get a major sponsor, like ones like Gibbs gets or Hendrick gets or something like that, it'd be interesting to see what they could do there, because they have a lot of good people, obviously. They've been pilfered the last couple of years. Their main personnel have gone to go be other things at bigger teams. So they're kind of right in the middle of it. They're not a really small backmarker team. They're not really a super team.
They are one of the mid-tier teams, no doubt.
And week in and week out, when it comes to Ford teams, they're outperforming Stewart Haas all the time.
Isn't that just amazing? Oh man, we'll sneak away. We're glad you're listening, and we'll be back right after these.
It's one of the most incredible weekends of sports car racing in the world at Road America, America's national park of.
Hello and welcome to the Pick and Save Show. At Pick and Save, everyone wins when it comes to saving big. Because when you order online through the Pick and Save app, you get the same great prices, deals, and rewards on pickup or delivery that you do in-store, with no hidden fees or markups. So no matter how you shop, you'll always save big at Pick and Save. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
Save big on your favorites with the Buy 5 or More, Save $1 each sale. Simply buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with your card. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
When was the last time you found a professional look that fits so well you felt like you could take on anything? Indochino believes you shouldn't fit your clothes, they should fit you, your body, personality, and style. Because finding the perfect fit is about more than your measurements, it's how you show the world who you are. Design every detail of your suit to be totally you with Indochino's new women's wear line. Simply submit your measurements online or visit an expert style guide at an Indochino showroom. They have hundreds of high-quality fabrics and details to choose from and are always adding new options, so you can add your own flair. With endless ways to customize, designing an outfit is easy. Just tell Indochino how you want it, and that's how they'll make it. Find your perfect fit and stand out in style with a custom suit from Indochino. For 10% off, use promo code WOMEN when you visit Indochino.com to book a showroom appointment or place an order. That's INDOCHINO.com, promo code WOMEN.
Speed. Bring the entire family. Kids 16 and under are free with paying adults. Tickets and more at roadamerica.com.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Exciting racing continues this Saturday night at the Fair Park in Plymouth. Watch the Plymouth Third Track Racing MSA Sprint Cars, the Grand Nationals, B-Mods, and the very fast Lightning Sprints. Gates open at 4:30, opening ceremony at 6 with racing to follow. The Fair Park features a covered grandstand with seat backs throughout, a new sound system, and as always, great food. Next week, the Super 6 late models return for another night of high-powered racing. The Fair Park in Plymouth, just off Highway 23. We'll see you there.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Josh Berry will bring the field to the green flag, and we are underway.
Regular season championship battle continues at Michigan.
Mayer to second with the tire up. Berry's in the wall, right in front of us in 2.
Can Austin Hill go back-to-back?
Out front when the caution comes out is Austin Hill. What a drive. What a gamble.
It's the Cabo Wabo 250.
Saturday afternoon at 2 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Who is NASCAR's least favorite driver? Is it Joey Logano? I don't know. Is it
not
Kyle
anymore?
Is it Kyle Busch? I don't think Kyle Busch. I think he gets more cheers than he's ever gotten in his life.
Right, Todd, the tow truck drivers probably don't like Joey Logano.
Denny Hamlin is definitely on that list. I don't know where he falls on the list, but it's near the top, whatever that is. And, thank goodness for bad guys. We can't all be wearing the white hats. It has to be, you need bad guys. It makes for interest in the sport. Nobody liked watching Darrell Waltrip win all the time and get out and be all cocky and whatnot. And yet you watched it because you wanted somebody to beat Darrell Waltrip, and you just loved it when somebody did. Well, it's kind of like that way with Hamlin. Hamlin doesn't win anywhere near as much as Waltrip did, but he can be a real jag-off, can't he? I mean, last week, he won the race in front of a crowd that has been very pro-Hamlin in the past, gets out of the car to a chorus of boos, the biggest crowd at Pocono in 10 years, and he gets out of the car, and they do nothing but boo him because of the way he races and is not afraid. And, I'm not going to even sit here and tell you that I think he did anything wrong. I'm trying to win a race. You're supposedly racing with the best driver on the planet. You got a perfect excuse of squeezing him up a little bit here, and I'll be damned. We just squeezed him just maybe a little too much up into the wall. The crowd hated it, but I got a pretty good idea that the folks at FedEx didn't mind it one little bit. And Hamlin wins at Pocono. It doesn't help his situation at all when Kyle Larson gets out of the car and spews all his stuff. It just creates interest. I think it's overblown myself. What do you guys think?
I don't think it's over. I mean, they talked to Larson this week, and it doesn't sound like he's over it. So we'll see if those guys get to racing each other, especially on a short track like today. But yeah, I agree. I mean, you're going for the win, and sometimes he didn't flat out wreck them. He moved them. Now, was it 100% right? Probably not.
No.
But he's in victory lane, and Kyle Larson isn't, and Larson understands that, I think, because sometimes that aggression comes out when it's late in a race. And
the style now. I mean, I'm not thrilled with it, but it's like they do this all the time, one way or another.
That was as agitated as I've ever seen Kyle Larson. I mean, usually he's kind of ho hum. He doesn't get too worked up, but man, you could see the steam coming out of his ears after that one. He was as worked up as I've ever seen him over that. So it's going to be hard for him to forget that one. And if Denny Hamlin is in front of him today, look out. Perfect place to retaliate, especially on a short track.
Yeah, and it's Hamlin's. I mean, it's a Virginia short track. He's from Chesapeake, Virginia.
Just don't make it too obvious, or they'll sit you down for a while.
Right. Yep. Don't say anything about it. Don't don't swing and miss, beforehand. But if you drive in there and you rub them and you run them way up, so be it.
There are ways of doing it. You just feign ignorance. I don't know what happened over there. I think it was air, but I'm not sure. And air. Dale, I got to hand it to Dale Earnhardt Jr. He doesn't know for sure that that's exactly what happened, that he went up and touched them. He said he did. And, Kyle Larson kind of said he did. And yet there is no conclusive video evidence that he touched them. Now, maybe we just didn't see it in the angles I saw. But Hamlin is sticking to his story. Or is he? Did you hear how he's kind of, backing off just a little bit, hedging his bets? Kind of humorous. But you guys are right.
I heard
this
he
is
said,
good.
That on his podcast that he still hasn't taken any kind of blame for it, and said I didn't touch him.
And that's Hamlin's demeanor, though. He never takes blame for anything. He's always pushing it off. Kyle Petty went on a rant after the race last week about that, how, nothing is ever Denny Hamlin's fault. If you look at his history, nothing is ever his fault. And that's just the way he is. And I mean, that's good confidence in yourself. You don't want people constantly, taking the blame, which that was Chase Elliott's problem before he got his first win. Remember, he was so hard on himself all the time. that can spin you the other way as well. But Hamlin's just, I don't do anything wrong.
And all of this, all this means that I like Chastain just a little bit more, because if anybody gets under Hamlin's skin, it's Chastain. And yes, Chastain has made some pretty blatantly ugly moves on that guy, and I don't care. It's beautiful. Let's mix it up. It seems like it's the new style, unfortunately. We don't race guys clean anymore. I think Hamlin even said something about it. Mark Martin's days of racing a guy hard and then letting him go and then maybe you'll get him back later, that's gone now. You race every lap like it's the end because stages, because of sponsor expectations. You had sponsors that were going to be there no matter what. It's a different set of circumstances and rules these days. And what does it all mean? Well, it sure has changed. And the cars are part of the overall factor, because the cars are different. Used to be you could get them out of shape by coming to their high side. Now you get them out of shape by coming to their inside. Good God. Now, we've got other things. Go ahead.
Speaking of the cars, let's see what happens now on Monday. Is it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? They're doing a test in Richmond with the new splitter. It's supposed to help out with when it's supposed to create lift when you're out front and downforce when you're behind somebody. It's just opposite what's going on now.
This is the rules that they're going to try and run at Phoenix for the championship, right?
Maybe.
If they work, yeah. If they work.
Well, they should be reporting on. I wonder if it's going to be open to reporters. It usually is.
This was supposed to be in New Hampshire a couple weeks back, but it got delayed because of the weather there. So this pushes them back a little more. Teams are getting a little antsy about it because you just don't know what you're going to have. Now you got to wait 2 more weeks to find out what kind of rules you're going to be running later in the year. Because let's face it, these teams are always working, a month out to try to get their stuff ready.
No kidding. Hey, I don't know if you guys noticed yesterday, but of course, because AJ Allmendinger was at Road America racing with the Xfinity Series, his car, the 16 car, needed to be qualified into the field at Richmond, and Derek Kraus got the opportunity to take the car. Now, before you say, where the hell did they come up with that name, Derek Kraus? He works not only with the Kaulig team, he also works with the Legacy team. He's the simulator operator for Kaulig and for Legacy, which I think is, a pretty nice gig for a guy that, doesn't have a full-time ride. And they asked him to get in the car. Remember, yes, he had a really slow qualifying run, and there was a very good reason for that. He was told to qualify like that. All they needed to do was take a lap. They didn't want to put anything on the tires because those are the same tires they're starting with, right, guys?
Right.
Correct. Yeah.
He's got to come to the field in this place. Tire wear is a big deal, so he's going to use them up.
Either way, right?
He's going to use them up trying to get to the front. So if you can save as many tires you can save on that qualifying lap, if you don't need to go fast, why not do it?
Right. So all he did was get the car in the field, which is exactly what the owners wanted, and they were pleased with him. And I'm positive he would have liked to have gone out and see how quick he could qualify the car naturally. He's a competitor, but he didn't make himself any enemies. He did what they asked him to do. We're happy you're tuned in to LTN. We're going to come back with some results from around the world of short track racing right after these.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358. It's one of the most incredible weekends of sports car racing in the world at Road America, America's national park of speed. Bring the entire family. Kids 16 and under are free with paying adults. Tickets and more at roadamerica.com.
The summer heat is on, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
This week on NASCAR Live, Kyle Larson joined the show.
He didn't leave me any options, so I'm probably a little bit more frustrated today than I was yesterday, and still yet to hear what he has to say about it. If his opinion changes on it at all, maybe y'all calm down a little bit. But as of right now, I believe I got wrong, which I did.
There's much more waiting for you each week on NASCAR Live.
Every Tuesday night at 6 on the Big 920 in your iHeartRadio app.
LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
Another full week of dirt track racing across the country will start Monday up in Indianapolis, Indiana. The Circle City Raceway, the USAC's AMSOIL National Sprint Car Series continued Indiana Sprint Week, and Kyle Cummins picked up the win. Also Monday in Norfolk, Nebraska, the Off-Road Speedway, the XRSS Super Series had twin $5,000 to win preliminary features on the late model side. Devin Moran and Dalton Wilson won those. Tuesday night in Beaver Dam, the IMCA Modifieds, Brandon Schmidt picked up the win, and in the stock cars, it was Kenny Richards. Eagle River, Wisconsin, the limited late models went to Jason Resork. The stock cars went to Jonathan Miller. Davenport, Iowa, the Mars Dirt Car Series, $10,000 to win. Hooker Trucking 50. Drake Troutman picked up the win there. And Tuesday in Norfolk, Nebraska, the Off-Road Speedway, the XRSS Super Series, $100,000 to win on a Tuesday night for the Elkhorn 100, and Ricky Thornton Jr. just continued to add to his bank account by grabbing the big money there. Wednesday night, Terre Haute, Indiana, the USAC AMSOIL National Sprint Car Indiana Sprint Week feature winner was Justin Grant. Benton, Missouri, for the All-Star Circuit of Champions Sprint Cars, Derek Hagar was your winner. Thursday, Sprint Week continued for the AMSOIL Sprint Cars. And Lincoln Park Speedway in Putnamville, Indiana, Jake Swanson got the win. In Eldon, Missouri, the Lake of the Ozarks Speedway for the All-Star Circuit of Champions, Aaron Reitzel was your winner. Friday night, we had rain up in Anago, Jim Falls, Darlington, Seymour, and Menominee. Finally getting the drought broken around here because we haven't had many rainouts all year. Plymouth ran the Road America Challenge for the IRA Sprint Cars, $5,000 to win, and sensational feature as Greg Wilson came from third to first on the last lap to win that sprint car feature with lightning crashing in the west. They got the thing in the nick of time. Congratulations to Plymouth and Road America for putting on a great event. In the MSA 360 sprints, Ben Schmidt was your winner in that. Chilton Gravity Park, they got one feature in the Grand National feature before the storms came through. Bristol Hintzman won that one. Fountain City, Wisconsin, the Mississippi Thunder Speedway, the USRA Mods, Josh Anks was your winner. The limited lates went to Corey Reese. Up in Superior, Gondik Law Speedway for the Wissota late models, Kyle Peterlin was your winner. And the modifieds was Shane Sabrowski. Bloomington, Indiana for the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Cars, Emerson Axum was your winner of that portion of Sprint Week. Lake Odessa, Missouri, the I-70 Speedway. That used to be a paved track back in the day. The ASA ran there. It's dirt now. The All-Star Sprint Cars were there. Buddy Kofoid was your winner. And down in Fairbury, Illinois, the World of Outlaw Case Construction late models had...
When was the last time you found a professional look that fits so well you felt like you could take on anything? Indochino believes you shouldn't fit your clothes. They should fit you, your body, personality, and style. Because finding the perfect fit is about more than your measurements. It's how you show the world who you are. Design every detail of your suit to be totally you with Indochino's new women's wear line. Simply submit your measurements online or visit an expert style guide at an Indochino showroom. They have hundreds of high-quality fabrics and details to choose from and are always adding new options, so you can add your own flair. With endless ways to customize, designing an outfit is easy. Just tell Indochino how you want it, and that's how they'll make it. Find your perfect fit and stand out in style with a custom suit from Indochino. For 10% off, use promo code WOMEN when you visit Indochino.com to book a showroom appointment or place an order. That's INDOCHINO.com, promo code WOMEN.
The preliminary features for the Prairie Dirt Classic, 4 $5,000 to win features. Bobby Pierce, Chris Madden, Ryan Gustin, and Ricky Thornton Jr. won those. Last night, the rain took out the Shawano Dirt Kings race and the USAC Indiana Sprint Week finale at Tri-State Speedway. They did race at Wilmot for the IRA Sprints. Brenham Crouch picked up his first career IRA feature win there last night. In the IRA Wingless Sprints, that went to Ryan Zaleski. Francis Creek, Wisconsin, the 141 Speedway. In the modifieds, it was Benji Lacrosse. The stock cars, Luke Lemons. Grand Nationals, Ryan Minster. They had 197 cars in 6 classes. They started at 6. They were done by 10. How about that for?
Oh my God!
Yes, that is moving it along.
So, yeah.
Cedar Lake Speedway in New Richmond, $5,000 win for the late models last night. Nick Anvilink made the tow across the state, made it pay, picking up the win there. The modifieds was Rodney Sanders. Up at Eagle River last night, the MSA 360 Sprints ran up there for the first time ever, and Ben Schmidt continued his domination of that series, picking up the win. Ashland, the ABC Raceway in the Wissota Mods, it was Tyler Vernon. Rice Lake in the Wissota Mods, Mike Anderson. In the USRA Limited Lates was Dylan Kromschrader. Knoxville, Iowa last night for the All-Star Circuit of Champions. Rico Abreu continued his outstanding season by picking up the win there. And finally, the big race of the weekend was in Fairbury, Illinois for the World of Outlaw Case Construction Late Models, the 33rd Annual Prairie Dirt Classic. $50,000 to win, and Ricky Thornton Jr., my gosh, he just continued his domination. He's having a year like Jonathan Davenport has had a couple times before. I mean, he had an issue with like 13 laps to go, had to restart 6th, and drove through the field to pick up the win at the end. He won the $50,000. There's a lap money there too, I think.
You watch that? I mean, after he had that issue, and they threw the caution for him. They really didn't need to because he kept going. So because they threw the caution for him, they made him start 6th. He was kind of mad. He just got up on the cushion and, like he said, I'm either going to flip it over or I'm going to win this thing, and he did.
Yeah, so there's a $500 a lap money there. So I think he didn't lead a whole lot of laps. So he walked out of there with, I think, $62,000. Bobby Pierce finished second, and I don't know exactly what second paid, but he walked out of there with $57,000 with the lap money. So a lot of money available there.
Yeah.
One other quick thing I got to make a little punch for here in a couple weeks up here in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. And this is, I do dirt on the dirt. I'm going to do, this is called water racing also here. We're having the Mercury Midwest Challenge up here in the city of Sheboygan. It's absolutely free for anybody to come up here and attend. They're going to have the huge 1,100 horsepower, they call them cigar boats. They're going to be racing off of the south side of Sheboygan on a 6-mile oval. You've probably seen these things on TV. And then they also have what they call the F1 power boats. They're going to be racing inside the harbor on a 1-mile triangular oval. Again, it's absolutely free. They're going to be racing Saturday and Sunday, August 12th and 13th. On Friday night, August 11th, they're going to have a huge party in downtown Sheboygan where all the boats are going to come in. There's over 40 of them expected here, and you're going to be able to walk around and look at them all out. So if you've never seen this type of stuff before, I'm excited to see it. I've seen it on TV, but never seen it up close. They're going to be right here for everybody to come out and enjoy. So check it out if you're in the area.
If they're not charging, I don't understand that. If it's free,
I don't know how you can, because I mean, you'd need to fence off the entire city because it's a 6-mile course. There's VIP stuff down at the Blue Harbor Resort, but the rest of it's all free. The pit area is going to be down by the marina. If you're familiar with Sheboygan, that's where the boats are going to be down there. So
I saw him in Key West in the powerboat races after Homestead a couple of times, and it was free to watch. If you wanted to go like certain areas, like certain VIP areas, you had to pay to. But otherwise, to sit on the dock and watch boats go by was free.
Impressive, yeah, very impressive.
Yeah, come on up to Sheboygan. That's my employer, so they'd love to have everybody come up here that weekend to check it out.
All right, got about a minute or so to give you some results. Starting Thursday at State Park Speedway and WIR in Kaukauna. They were both rained out on Thursday. Like Brian said, we're finally getting some relief from all the drought. Friday at Golden Sands was rained out. Grundy was rained out. Madison was rained out. Last night, we got back to some racing right here at Dells Raceway Park. It was a great show. Mike Litchfield took the challenge to start from the rear of the field of 18 cars. It was a 50-lapper, and he would have got a nice bonus if he had come through the field and won it, and did not. Hunter Stenson did a great job of holding off a quickly charging Mike Litchfield field at the end of that thing and ended up winning the feature last night right here at Dells Raceway Park. At Jefferson, it didn't get rained out. The rain caused the power outage, and they didn't have any power, no lights, no computers, no nothing at Jefferson. At La Crosse, they ran the NASCAR late models, and they had twin features. Nick Clements and Skylar Holshausen were your winners. At Marshfield, in the UMA Super Lates, it was Mark Eswine. At Norway, the Tundra Super Lates, it was Dalton Zier. At Rockford, the NASCAR Super Lates had two finishes. One Michael Bilderback won. They finished a feature that was stopped last week by the rain, and then John Reynolds came in and won the other one. The Cars Tour ran at Hickory. That was postponed until today. They had weather come in through there. SRX raced. Kyle Busch was your winner. Kenny Schrader was so pissed off at Paul Tracy. He said he wouldn't come back unless Paul Tracy was fired, and they fired him, and they put John Benson in the car. He's going to race at Berlin Raceway this coming Thursday night. And by the way, speaking of Berlin Raceway, Bubba Pollard won on Thursday night. We'll tell you about Slinger after these messages.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
It's one of the most incredible weekends of sports car racing in the world at Road America, America's national park of speed. Bring the entire family. Kids 16 and under are free with paying adults. Tickets and more at roadamerica.com.
Exciting racing continues this Saturday night at the Fair Park in Plymouth. Watch the Plymouth Third Track Racing MSA Sprint Cars, the Grand Nationals, B-Mods, and the very fast Lightning Sprints. Gates open at 4:30, opening ceremony at 6 with racing to follow. The Fair Park features a covered grandstand with seat backs throughout, a new sound system, and as always, great food. Next week, the Super 6 late models return for another night of high-powered racing. The Fair Park in Plymouth, just off Highway 23. We'll see you there.
The NASCAR Cup Series.
Green flag is out. We're racing in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Returns to Richmond Raceway.
Oh, look how William Byron's around and into the outside wall. Byron gets clipped.
As 5 weeks remain until the playoffs.
Off for final time, and Kyle Larson has won here at Richmond.
It's the Cookout 400.
Sunday afternoon. Coverage starts at 1 on Milwaukee's home for NASCAR, the Big 920, and your iHeartRadio app.
And welcome back. Last week at Slinger Speedway, Jesse Bernhagen continued his domination in the pro late models. Just spectacular. Dan, what was that? His 6th out of 7?
I think so. Yeah, 5 in a row, and then he didn't win for a while. I got another one.
Yeah, and the 1 week they put a bounty on him was the 1 week he finished 4th. So, but he sure is putting on a show up there. The pro late models are center stage again tonight, plus Legends, Slinger Bees, and Bandoleros. And speaking of Bandoleros, I didn't mention that Penn Sauter did win yet again here at the Dells last night. Get to watch that kid. I think it's because his car works so good on the bottom. At least it was last night right here. Passing cars, just amazing, and he stays low to do it. You get a feeling that he's getting some pretty good help there to get that car to turn as good as it does. Whatever, the kid has got a lead foot, and I say he's not exactly a little guy. You know, he's as tall as his mom and dad. His voice has changed. Yes, he's 12 years old, but like Johnny told us, that the time is coming, and it's coming soon, where he's going to be in a super late. He's just going to skip right up to super lates, right, guys?
I think so. I mean, if everything works out.
Yeah, originally he was supposed to do a little bit of dabbling in the super late stuff this year, but I don't believe it all worked out with getting a car ready and whatnot. Talk to Johnny on Tuesday when he's at Kaukauna and see what the update is on that.
That'd be fun stuff. Hey, Brian, you got a chance to talk to Bobby Dotter for a little while at Road America, and it's kind of a good news, bad news year for Bobby, isn't it?
Yeah, Dan and I were with him on Friday for a while, and then I saw him again yesterday a little bit. Yeah, he's having a rough year. I mean, flat out, we just said, "How's it going?" And he answered, "Not good." You know, I mean, he was supposed to have, and Bobby's one of the good guys out there. I mean, you know, super nice guy, has a lot of history around here. Originally, he was supposed to have a full season. When we saw him back at Daytona, Blaine Perkins was supposed to drive his car all year, and the Perkins family came in there and you know, wanted him to run a Chevy, and they got the whole program and everything going, and stuff just didn't go right, and then they wanted out of it. So it kind of left him hanging with drivers that he has for the rest of the year. So he's able to get Catherine Legg in yesterday. She had some issues there and didn't run the whole season. Catherine's going to run the rest of the road courses, so she'll be at Watkins Glen, Indianapolis, and at the Roval later this year. He did hint around that maybe Natalie Decker will be in the car at Daytona and going forward, and he had good things to say about her and her abilities in an Xfinity car. Kind of compared her a lot to what goes on with Hailie Deegan. When Hailie Deegan's struggling in the truck, hopped in the Xfinity car and had a pretty good result. So it'd be cool to see her do well with that stuff later in the year. But other than that, it's kind of a week-to-week basis for that team. And boy, you really, I mean, Dan talking to him, you could tell the angst in his voice and how upsetting it was to just not be as solid as they could be.
And I felt bad for him yesterday, man. You know, he had that Alex LeBay had a great run in that 08 car, and they were actually moving forward and going to have a pretty decent finish, and they exploded a brake rotor and parked it in the turn one tires pretty hard, but not what they needed, you know.
No,
Bobby Dotter, like Dan said and Brian said, he's got so much history. He used to drive for Jerry Gunderman and whatnot when he was up in this part of the woods. But he is a rental, is what he is. You come in there, you say, I want to get some experience in a Xfinity car, and I have a sponsor, and Bobby will say, okay, then show me the money, and we'll put you in there, and they've done well. Now, the time they did do well was when he actually had the car rented over, and it was a Stuart Haas car, right, with Cole Custer in the thing last year.
Yeah, and that just didn't continue for this year. You know, last couple of years, he had the deal with Stuart Haas, but that didn't go forward this year. And I don't know what the whole circumstances were, if it was a deal where he had to put some money into it or whatnot, but that just didn't work out this year. So now he's kind of out on his own going forward.
Yeah, interesting. Hey, a name came up that we haven't heard in a while. Guy's name is Cal Wells. You may remember the name. He was a car owner. He owned the number 32 Tide car, and he had a couple different drivers in it that you would remember. Maybe Scott Pruitt. Ricky Craven is the one that jumped out at me. Bobby Hamilton Jr. also drove it. From what I remember, I'm pretty sure Travis Quapple drove that car for a while too. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I'm pretty sure he did. Cal Wells, this former car owner, is now the chief executive officer hired by Jimmy Johnson to run Legacy Motorsports, Richard Petty. Remember when Richard Petty had something to say over there? His name is kind of shuffled back to Omaha here.
That is, they're going to Toyota next year, and Wells was pretty instrumental in bringing Toyota into IndyCar way back in the mid-'90s.
I wonder if there's some sort of connection there. That's interesting that's where he went. But Cal Wells is back, not as a car owner, and Ty Dillon is driving the 77 car, and of course he's doing nothing. There's another one that you got a funny feeling is just a rental. You get some money, we'll put you in the car. Kevin Bono Mannion is the new crew chief on that car. You think by rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, it's not going to sink anyway? I don't think so. Some guy named Kevin Bellacourt was fired, and they put Kevin Mannion back in the car. Interesting. Hey, thanks for tuning into the program. We love it that you make us a part of your Sunday mornings. Don't forget, 2:16 our time is the green flag today, and coverage starts right here in the Big 920 at 1 o'clock this afternoon for all of us involved with the program. What's that?
Who you picking?
Oh, I'll take the 24. Simple. Yeah.
I'll agree, 24.
You too? All right,
Yes.
Brian?
The 9, Chase Elliott. He's going to punch his ticket today.
All right. Hey, real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. LTN is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our engineer is Matt Losi. For all of us involved, we'll see you next week, everybody.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.
So, we've got a #1 deluxe meal. Is there anything else I can get you?
Yeah, I'd also like a good night's sleep.
Excuse me, sir?
You know, the I didn't struggle all night with my uncomfortable CPAP mask, or something like the my wife didn't kick me out to sleep on the couch because of my constant tossing and turning.
Sir, we don't have anything like that here. I think what you're looking for is Inspire. It's an implant that works inside your body to treat sleep apnea without a CPAP. That way you can breathe normally and rest more soundly.
Come on! Oh, he sounds angry. Inspire is the only FDA-approved sleep apnea treatment of its kind. It's helping tens of thousands of people finally get restful sleep. To learn more, visit InspireSleep.com. That's InspireSleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you, and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.